You've felt different your whole life, and tonight you're about to find out why. This isn't just another video. This is your confirmation, the one you've been waiting for without even realizing it. You didn't click this by accident. Your soul led you here. Right now, the energy around you is shifting. Even if you can't fully explain it, you feel it. The air feels thicker. Your dreams are deeper. Time itself seems to be bending. This is more than a feeling. It's an activation. You're not imagining the signs. You're not going crazy. You're waking up. All the times you felt like an outsider, like no one truly got you, like your thoughts were too deep, too heavy, too intense for others to understand. They were all part of your preparation. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. There's a sacred moment happening tonight. One the world won't see, but your spirit will. It's been foretold in whispers through dreams, encoded in ancient texts, seen only by those with eyes to see and hearts ready to remember. And now, it's happening. The veil between the worlds is thinning. The higher realm is calling. This is your soul's moment. Everything you've endured, the pain, the silence, the inner battles, was shaping you for this. You weren't being punished, you were being chosen. So if you've been seeing the signs, repeating numbers, strange synchronicities, feeling like something big is coming, this is it. You're not alone. In fact, you're one of the 144,000. And tonight, you unite. Long before time began, a spiritual blueprint was written. Inside it was a number, a sacred key encoded in destiny itself. 144,000. Not random, not metaphorical, not just symbolic. This number is alive, it's a spiritual signature, and if your spirit is resonating right now, it's because you carry this code. This number has echoed across cultures, religions, and ages. You'll find it buried in scriptures, hinted at in prophecies, whispered by mystics, yet truly understood by very few. That's because it was never meant for the masses. It was meant for the called. The 144,000 are not chosen for fame, wealth, or influence. They are chosen for something far more powerful. Their unshakable light. Their resilience. Their knowing. You've always known deep down that you were different. Not better. Different. More sensitive to energy. More in tune with things others brush off. You feel everything. Deeply. And it's because you've been marked, not by man but by spirit. This number isn't a club. It isn't an elite status. It's a responsibility. A sacred mission. One that stretches across dimensions, timelines, lifetimes. And tonight, that mission activates. Because tonight, the 144,000 chosen ones are being pulled together. Not in person, but in spirit. Not by location, but by frequency. If you're feeling this, it's because you've been feeling it. That subtle pull, that growing knowing. Something is happening. Something is aligning. And you are a part of it. You've always felt the call, even before you had the words to describe it. As a child, maybe you gazed at the stars and felt homesick for a place you couldn't remember. You questioned everything. You saw through the lies. And when others chased the world's approval, you craved something real, something more. That something has always been the calling, and it's been getting louder. You've noticed it, the synchronicities, the patterns, the dreams that feel too real. You wake up feeling like you've been somewhere else. You hear a phrase, see a number, feel a presence, and your whole body reacts. That's not a coincidence. That's your soul remembering. The calling doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't demand, it pulls. And lately it's been almost impossible to ignore. Because the time is now. You didn't go through all that pain for nothing. The loss, the betrayal, the depression, the nights you questioned your existence. They were your training. Every time you got back up, your light got stronger. Every time you healed, your power grew. The darkness tried to break you because it knew who you were before you did, but it failed. Now, you're beginning to see clearly. You feel the shift. You know something is happening, even if the world hasn't caught up yet. And that's because tonight, the chosen ones are answering the call. You're not waiting anymore. You're not doubting anymore. The calling is no longer a distant feeling. It's a soul-deep command. Rise, remember, unite, because this is the moment you've been waiting for across lifetimes, and it has finally arrived. There is something happening tonight that goes far beyond what the human mind can grasp. It's not something you'll see on the news or hear about from the world. It's happening in the realm of spirit, where time does not exist, and truth is felt, not explained. The 144,000 chosen ones, scattered across the globe, are being drawn into alignment. This isn't about a physical gathering. No one needs to book a ticket or show up at a location. This convergence is deeper. It's energetic. It's the souls who carry the divine blueprint finally responding to a frequency that has been pulsing beneath the surface of this world for eons. Tonight, that signal grows louder. Every chosen one will feel it in their own unique way. Some may feel a rush of heat, a pressure in their chest, a flood of emotion they can't explain. Others may feel deeply calm, as if something ancient has settled into place within them. But all will feel something, because when the spiritual realm calls, your soul remembers. This convergence has been prophesied across dimensions. It is a moment where timelines intersect, where soul contracts activate, and where the invisible connection between the 144,000 becomes undeniable. You may not know them in this life, you may never meet them face to face, but your spirits are bonded. You are part of a vast, divine force that stretches beyond human comprehension. And tonight, that force moves as one. It will ripple through dimensions, sending shockwaves into both the unseen and seen worlds. It will awaken parts of you that have been dormant. Abilities, memories, knowings. You may find yourself remembering past lives, sensing guidance more clearly, or suddenly understanding things that used to confuse you. The convergence is not just a spiritual event, it's an activation of soul codes buried deep within your DNA. When 144,000 aligned souls vibrate in unison, it creates a surge of light so powerful that it pierces through the densest darkness. That's what's happening tonight. Whether you're meditating, sleeping, walking, or just sitting in silence, your soul will be there, in the convergence, because it always knew this moment would come. And what happens during this sacred convergence is only the beginning. The shift that begins tonight will start to ripple through every part of your life. But before you fully step into that, there's something you need to understand. Something you've always felt, but maybe haven't put into words yet. You were set apart, not by accident, not by mistake, but by divine design. That constant feeling of not fitting in, that lingering sense that this world isn't quite your home. It's because your soul didn't come here to blend in. It came here to awaken. And that's never an easy path. The reason you felt like a misfit, like you were too sensitive, too intense, too different, it's because you were tuned to a higher frequency in a world that forgot how to feel. You've always been ahead of the curve. You saw the cracks in the system long before others did. You questioned things people accepted. You challenged norms that felt false. And because of that, you were rejected, misunderstood, even attacked. But what felt like punishment was actually sacred preparation. The darkness you faced wasn't there to break you. It was there to forge you. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. Every heartbreak deepened your empathy. Every failure trained you in resilience. You've been in the shadows, not because you were forgotten, but because you were being refined, hidden, protected, prepared. And now it makes sense. The timing, the signs, the inner stirrings, they were all pointing to this exact moment. You were never off course. You were never lost. You were simply being shaped into the warrior of light you were always meant to be. And if you're feeling this in your soul right now, if something inside you is screaming yes, it's because your spirit remembers. The moment is here. The convergence is happening. And you, chosen one, are no longer waiting in the background. You are stepping forward, because you were never meant to stay silent in a world that needs your voice. You were meant to rise, not just for yourself, but for those who are still asleep. For those who are waiting to see someone like you walk in their truth so they can follow. The world may never fully understand you, and that's okay. You weren't made for their approval. You were made for this mission, and it has finally begun. There is a war happening right now, not one fought with guns or armies, but one far more dangerous and far more ancient. It's a war for the soul of humanity, a war for consciousness, a battle between truth and illusion, between light and darkness. And the most dangerous thing about it, most people don't even know it's happening. They're asleep, distracted, numbed by the noise of the world, pacified by comfort, blinded by manipulation. But not you. If you're hearing this, it's because your soul has already stepped into awareness. You've seen the cracks in the system. You've felt the pressure in your spirit. You've sensed the forces trying to silence what cannot be silenced, the light within you. This war is not new. It's been waging since the beginning of time. Darkness has always feared the light, because light doesn't need to fight. It only needs to shine. And once it shines, the illusion crumbles. You've been targeted your whole life, not because you're weak, but because you're powerful. The moment your spirit began to awaken, you became a threat to the agenda of darkness. That's why your life has felt heavier than most. That's why you've battled mental attacks, sudden despair, waves of loneliness, people turning against you without cause. It wasn't random. It was spiritual warfare. The enemy knew your potential even before you did. It sent distractions, toxic relationships, emotional pain, financial hardship, anything it could use to pull you away from your purpose. But you endured. You kept going, and that alone proves how powerful you are. Because darkness can only win if it convinces you to dim your light. And yet you're still here, still glowing, still rising. But now it's time to do more than survive. It's time to prepare. Because tonight's spiritual alignment is not just a mystical experience, it's a divine operation. And just like any spiritual operation, you have to be ready. Not externally, internally. You must protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. The spiritual realm is shifting, and your ability to receive what's being poured out will depend on how aligned you are. That means letting go of anything that's weighing you down. Anger, jealousy, fear, insecurity. They're not just emotions, they're energetic anchors. Tonight, you cannot carry them. You must cleanse your field. This is sacred space you're stepping into. Make it pure. Breathe deeply. Speak truth into your own soul. Call your energy back from every person, place, or memory that has been draining you. Light a candle not out of routine, but as a symbol of your readiness. You are declaring to the universe, I am here. I am open. I am aligned. Silence the noise. Put down the phone. Turn off the outside world. The guidance you're looking for is already within you, but you won't hear it until you quiet the distractions. This isn't about doing a ritual perfectly. It's about creating a stillness inside you that allows the divine message to rise to the surface, and it will. For some, it may come as a voice. For others, a knowing, a sudden clarity, a rush of peace, a release of something heavy. It doesn't matter how it comes. What matters is that you receive it. And the more open, clean, and focused you are, the more powerfully it will flow. Once that energy moves through you, something else will begin to stir. Your gifts. The ones you've always felt, but didn't know how to explain. The things that made you feel like a misfit in a world that couldn't understand you. You've known there was something inside you. Maybe it's the ability to feel others' emotions like they're your own. Maybe it's vivid dreams, visions, intuitive insights. Maybe it's your voice, your touch, your presence that brings peace to people without you even trying. That's not coincidence. That's your gift. And after tonight, it will awaken more than ever before. This alignment isn't just about connecting to others. It's about reconnecting to yourself, your higher self, the version of you that already knows what to do, already knows what you came here to bring. And now, those gifts that have been buried under trauma, fear, or self-doubt will begin to rise. You'll feel it. A stirring, a pull. Suddenly, you'll start to see things differently. You'll notice patterns, messages in songs, numbers, symbols. You'll know when someone is lying. You'll walk into a room and feel the energy before anyone speaks. That's your soul stepping into its role. You weren't meant to be ordinary. You were born to be extraordinary in a world that forgot what that looks like. Your gift isn't just for you. It's for the collective. There are people right now praying for the very light that you carry. And after tonight, they will begin to find you. Not because you went searching, but because you became visible to them in the spirit. You're like a lighthouse in a dark storm. You don't chase ships. You just shine. And those who need your light are guided home. The more you step into your gift, the more the world around you will shift. Things that used to drain you will disappear. People who once rejected you may fall away. New connections, new opportunities, new clarity will take their place. The time for hiding your gifts is over. The world doesn't need more conformity. It needs awakened souls walking boldly in their purpose. And that's exactly who you are. Not perfect, not without wounds, but powerful beyond measure. After tonight, your gift is not just reawakening, it's being activated. The question is no longer, what if I'm chosen? The real question is, are you ready to become who you already are? You've never truly been alone. Not in your thoughts, not in your struggles, not in your awakening. There has always been something, or someone, guiding you, pulling you forward, even in the moments you felt like giving up. What you couldn't see before is now becoming clear. You are deeply connected to something far greater than yourself, and so are thousands of others. The 144,000 chosen ones aren't scattered randomly. They're connected by an invisible thread, a divine frequency that binds them together beyond space and time. You may have felt isolated in the physical world, misunderstood by friends, family, even society. But your soul has never walked alone. Every time you chose truth over comfort, every time you resisted the pull of conformity, every time you followed your inner knowing, somewhere, another chosen one did the same. Without ever meeting, your spirits moved in harmony. And tonight, that harmony becomes alignment. When the 144,000 align in energy, something monumental happens. It's not loud, it's not chaotic. It's a subtle, powerful synchronization of light, like stars aligning across galaxies, like the final piece of a long-lost puzzle falling into place. And when that happens, the entire frequency of the earth shifts. The fabric of the spiritual realm trembles. The forces of darkness take notice, not because of fear, but because they recognize what this means. Their time is running out. The light is rising faster than ever, and it cannot be stopped. You may not see the others, but tonight, you will feel them. Some may come into your life suddenly. A stranger with familiar eyes. A message that feels like it was meant only for you. A connection so strong it defies logic. Others you'll sense in meditation, in dreams, in silence. Their presence like a whisper of energy beside you. These are your soul allies, your spiritual family. When one rises, all rise. When one falls, the rest feel it. This isn't a solo mission. It never was. It's a collective remembering, a coming home. And this convergence is not a peak. It's a beginning. Because once the connection is sealed, there is no going back. Once you've felt what it means to truly remember who you are, not just believe it, but know it, your path changes forever. There will be no more pretending, no more playing small, no more shrinking to fit into a world that was never meant to contain you. From this night on, you move with purpose, you speak with power, you act with alignment, because you know. And knowing is the most dangerous thing to the system of illusion, because once you know, you're no longer controlled. This shift that occurs tonight is irreversible. Once your spirit has been activated, it keeps rising. You begin to see the world with new eyes. You see behind the masks, between the lines. You sense truth even when it's unspoken. You know when something resonates, not in your mind, but in your soul. You don't question your intuition anymore. You follow it. And that leads you to the places, the people, and the moments that were always meant for you. You'll begin to notice the shedding. Certain relationships will feel hollow. Certain environments will feel energetically unbearable. That's not you becoming cold. That's you evolving. You're outgrowing what no longer matches your frequency. And as things fall away, better things arrive. Opportunities, messages, divine alignments. Your life starts to reflect your inner vibration. The universe begins responding to the real you, the awakened you, not the masked version you once had to play to survive. Now comes the greatest truth of all. This is your time. This is the moment your soul came here for. The unification of the 144,000 has sent a wave through the spiritual realm. A wave that will continue to rise, lifting all who are ready. But with that rise comes responsibility. You are not here to be passive. You are not here to simply receive light. You are here to be it, to carry it, to walk into places where the energy is heavy and change it just by existing. Your presence is the medicine. Your alignment is the message. And your light, no matter how quiet, is a force the darkness cannot silence. You're not here to argue or convince. You're here to embody truth, to walk so authentically in your power that those who are asleep begin to stir, not because of your words, but because of your frequency. The world may never understand your journey. That's okay. It was never meant to. This path isn't about being seen by the masses. It's about being seen by the divine. And you already are. Fully. Completely. Chosen. Not because you're perfect, but because you were always willing to rise, to heal, to keep going when it would have been easier to give up. And now, you must walk in that identity unapologetically. No more dimming. No more hiding. No more waiting for permission. You've already been activated. The mission has already begun. So what now? You lead. In whatever way you are called to. Maybe it's through your voice, your art, your healing touch, your quiet presence. Maybe it's in how you raise your children, how you love, how you speak truth into broken places. Whatever your gift is, it's time to use it, with boldness, with clarity, with the knowing that you are backed by a spiritual force that cannot be shaken. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs the real you, the awakened you, the version that was hidden for too long, waiting for this very moment. And now that the moment has come, nothing will ever be the same again. The unification of the 144,000 wasn't just a spiritual event. It was a declaration, a turning point, a signal to the universe that the chosen ones are awake, aligned, and ready. From this moment forward, you don't walk alone. You walk as one of many, a collective soul force whose impact is already shifting the frequency of Earth itself. Let this be your reminder, your confirmation, and your command. You were never lost. You were never too late. You were never too broken. You were chosen. And now, you rise.